She's like, hello. So I might need to quickly pause this clip because I have to go get food in a little bit, but I decided to start filming just to try and get some of this out of the way. So I haven't filmed the last couple days, mainly because I've been busy. I managed to get the essay done. I ended up spending a day longer on my kind of final thing than I thought I would, but because the extended deadline I wasn't too worried about that. With the essay I think that went well. Like, I like what I wrote about, I just don't, I would be much more comfortable with a first draft or something. I understand obviously it's uni and stuff like that, but like it's kind of one of those things where it's like a lot of the stuff that they kind of give you is very general and works for a lot of other things, because for a lot of other courses, from what I've seen or what I've heard, is you'll get like a list of questions and then you have to answer the questions, or you have to answer the, you know, one of the questions, and that is what your essay is going to be on, which is perfectly fine. But when you get to choose your own one, but when that happens, a lot of the time it's more about data and arguing something with data. So it's a little, I feel like it's a little bit more complicated when it comes to art, maybe just because of the language. I think I did well in trying to make sure that the language I was using wasn't like personal. So I think I managed to do that, but I don't know if I did the referencing quite right. I think there's maybe one or two things where I did the referencing wrong, but I can't quite tell if I'm supposed to change it or not. So it's not the easiest because I didn't really give any sort of example, and I think also we didn't get a lecture that we were supposed to get, and I think that having that lecture might have cleared up a few things as well, or at least allowed people to actually properly like ask questions. But is what it is, we got what we got, and I think I did well enough on its own. I think once I had the books and the information down, like it was very, you know, and my kind of paragraph sorted out, it was quite easy just to get everything on there and get all my stuff sorted, so it wasn't too bad. I mean, I enjoyed it. I got the DVD because I don't know if I said, I'm doing mine on Tarzan, or I did mine on Tarzan even, and I took out the DVD from the library, but unfortunately I think they fuck with the DVD so that you can't like just play the movie. I think it only plays the director's cut, as far as I could tell, which kind of sucks because I was gonna like watch it at the end and just kind of like relax, and then it was like, okay, I can't actually watch it. That was a little annoying, but whatever, it is what it is. Okay, so for my actual module, I think I did alright. I have way less slides on this one, which is weird because usually I'm up to 9-10 slides, maybe 8 to 10 slides is usually where I sit, but for this one I had like 7. Which is not a lot, but at the same time there's a lot of content within it because a lot of it's within the sketchbook, so I hope it's enough. I think maybe it's partially because I did only one thing. Like, my plan originally was to do like a series of it, but unfortunately because of just timing, and I wanted to make sure I got something like well placed and well done for the final, and then I can kind of be like, oh yeah, you could do this for other stuff. So yeah, I think yeah, I'm gonna go into the slides in a little second, but I need to have food and eat first, so I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, see, I can't remember if then like today I went in and just dropped everything off in the library. I was going to go into like Waterstones and stuff. I was gonna go like have a journey around, but it can be hard anyway. So for the presentation, I should probably sit somewhere else. Yeah, I'll sit here. It's better. Okay, so for the first slide, obviously it just has the first 2 pages of the sketchbook. Obviously, if you guys have watched the rest of the video or last video, depending, it seems like a lot of these models now are 2-parters. But essentially, it was just the first 2 pages of the sketchbook. I did also put in an artist. I'm not gonna try and pronounce the name. I don't have it in front of me, and I'm not sure how you pronounce it. But essentially, I remember seeing it on a Tumblr post ages and ages ago, and I liked it, but when I actually went in to actually research it for this project, because I remembered like something about that, like it being kind of like her making these characters like people who she wanted to know, but when I researched it, it's like, it's fake. Like, it's just like they don't really know where it came from, and it could either be like a very, very bad translation or someone just made it up. But I still put it in there because I still think it's like I know it from that, and I still think I can still kind of vaguely include it while it's not 100% exactly that thing. I think it's still enough that I can like work it in there and have it in there. So obviously if you read it there, I was just looking at kind of like an initial idea that I had for the brief, which I didn't really think would work, but I still wanted to put down there just so I kind of showed that I had that idea. Then I went on to do kind of look at the more communal, like, I don't even know how to describe it. I hope I wrote something, a good way to describe it in the actual thing, but I can't remember. Yeah, so I did obviously the Chinese zodiac and the normal zodiac. I don't know if there's a difference for like the star sign, that's what it was. I did a bit on that, and it was mainly just kind of research at that point. So on to the next slide. Okay, so the work that I included with this is actually a GIF. Like, it's basically just all of these playing. It's like a second long or something. Like, it's very, very small GIF. I will play it. But yeah, so this GIF is like a set of different slides. Yeah, slides, like different illustrations. So yeah, it's a set of illustrations, and I kind of laid them out at the top of the slide just to kind of show what it looked like. I had an idea. This idea kind of ended up coming a bit later on in the process of like doing something similar where like each slide is like maybe inspired by like a zodiac or something like that. I felt like that could have been really cool, but I think just timing wise I just wouldn't have the time for it. Like, maybe I would, like, if I'd known that from the start and like kind of gone towards it, but is what it is. So that's at the top of the slide there. There wasn't a lot from the artist, and I was like, the thing I've seen from people trying to actually contact artists when it comes to work that doesn't have a lot on them, a lot of the time you don't really tend to get a ton anyway, so usually it's just worth, you know, having them in there as kind of a mention and to show it. But yeah, anyway, so I put it in there, but I was like, I wasn't really expecting it to be counted necessarily. Yeah, so then I was looking at, in the sketchbook, different like styles of clothing and like my Instagram feed, and then a little bit onto YouTubers as well. So a lot of the stuff with the research and all that jazz is in like the writing on the sketchbook, and also to the side, like, you can just pause the stuff and read it. There isn't a ton of slides for this project. So basically the way, apparently I'd done a lot of research, which was literally like 4 pages, so I'm not sure how that's a lot of research. I don't know, maybe it's because I looked at like a good amount of different things, whereas normally you'd look at like 2 or 3 things and then kind of go onto your concepts. I don't know. But essentially once I'd done that, I started on the concepts. So the way that it was kind of described to us was like, oh yeah, you want to do a little bit of your research and then you want to go into your concepts and you look at 2 or 3 concepts, develop them. So yeah, we then go into concepts, develop those, and then once those were developed, you then kind of choose one to go into your own kind of idea. So this one was a one concept where I basically took a bunch of the BuzzFeed, we'll tell you, you know, answer these questions, we'll tell you what we are, you know, what type of this thing you are kind of thing. So I did a bunch of those and then just thought of different ways I could present them. I think that I did like a fair amount of a range of ways to present them. Some of them were more like 3D, some of them were more 2D. Oh wait, that's one thing I didn't really look at, did I? I just realised I didn't really say how I'd actually present it. Kind of, but not really. Anyway, yeah, some of them 2D, some of them 3D. Oh, I forgot I also put a little bit on the tarot stuff, or a little bit about tarot in one of the previous pages. I can't remember exactly which one, but so a lot of these ones when I'm looking at like layout, I'm looking at like how I could lay it out or how to present it. So some of them do include like a tarot card presentation sort of thing. But yeah, different ways I could do booklets, different things like that. If you pause it and read it, you'll see exactly what it says. And then because I had a bunch of space down at the bottom, I literally just took a clip of it and then just like took a little area of the sketchbook and then just kind of enlarged it and put it at the bottom. So so the next one was another concept where it was literally just taking the opposite day kind of the year and doing a star sign with that, as well as the star sign that I have, and doing that, creating 2 different characters with it. I didn't really know exactly how I'd kind of go with this one. I think it worked out right. Like, these are very initial designs. I would have changed a lot more about them or like done more detail, but I didn't want to go too much into it, mainly for time reasons and mainly because I was like, if I want to go into this further, I don't want to just do the final thing and then be like, oh, here it is, like, straight away. So there was definitely some stuff I could edit in terms of this kind of concept, but I basically just looked up the 2 different birth charts, put them in different colours, I was then thinking about tarot. I could possibly do something with that because I know that when the tarot card's like upside down, it has a different meaning. So I was like, oh, maybe I could do something with that. Maybe I could do, and then thinking about that kind of like upside down kind of idea, I was thinking, oh, maybe I could do like a playing card, something like that. I kind of like the playing card idea. I think I could have done something with that one, but I think with the time that I had left and stuff like that, I was just kind of like, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's actually doable because I'd want to do it well, and I don't know. I would want to explore a few different art styles with it as well. So again, just time-wise. But yeah, I kind of did the same thing at the bottom. I had a gap, so I was just like, okay, I'll just put a picture and a little explanation next to it just to kind of show my little kind of sketches like some other doodles, a little bit larger so you can actually see what it's saying or supposed to be representing. So for this concept, it was taking like the Chinese New Year and then making them into VTubers essentially, or each kind of animal, and inspired by like a different VTuber thing. So I just did a bunch of sketches, and I would have gone further into these a little bit, like given them a little bit more detail on the clothing and possibly done a little bit of colour onto them, but I think mainly time wise I was like, I need to get on to doing my final thing, so I need to actually like sort this out. I remember I quite like, I think, a good few of the ones that I was thinking to do for the final. I think really for me it was between the tiger and the dragon. I quite liked the position of them and also the things that I'd done for them. The rabbit one I quite liked, and the rat one. I definitely, for some of the like later ones, I was just like, okay, just get something down. I would have kind of liked to have done like a full set, but again, I just timing wise, I think I would have liked to explore these more, to be honest. I think maybe because of the fact we had the essay at the same time, definitely did kind of dampen the amount of time that I was able to actually spend on this. Also didn't really help that my essay, like the essay stuff that I was originally doing, wasn't actually what I ended up doing. Not necessarily through Tarzan, but I was looking more at specifically the animator Glenkeen, which was not what we were supposed to do. About the time I was like, wait a minute, hold on, that's not what I should be doing. I was kind of a bit like, crap, I'd already spent like 2 or 3 days devoted to the essay, so it was like, oh god damn it. But so yeah, I would have liked to have done something, but because of the time I spent, I had to kind of juggle the essay as well. If we had the essay deadline for the end of this week, I would have hopefully focused more on this and actually gotten more done, but you know, it is what it is. So anyway, so the next slide is more of a kind of research into VTubers. Like when I was talking to the lecturer, he basically said like, yeah, like research into it and kind of show or talk about like how you do these things, or how, you know, what you're making would be implemented into the process of how this thing would go. Because you don't need to necessarily do it all. You can just go, okay, this is how I do it, and show that you have the knowledge of actually how you'd, you know, go on with this project further. So this slide is mainly just an artist who's done a couple of VTuber design, or they've done a fair amount of VTuber designs, to be fair. Like VTuber designs and just a kind of general setup. That was more of a full body one than like anything else. So the next slide is the final slide. I would definitely say there's a little bit of inconsistency, I feel like, with the faces for the kind of expressions and the actual like head of the full body design, but I think it worked out well enough. I also think the lanterns in the background that I used, this stamp that I got was called, I think, yeah, Japanese Lantern MW on. Well, it's not Procreate, it was something I downloaded, but you know, a brush that you can use in Procreate, so it's not necessarily like an actual Chinese one, but it was something to kind of put into the background quickly that I could just go done. But yeah, and then they had the tiger lilies in the background because they were like not the lucky flower, but the flower related to the tiger. So I think the design worked out well for this one. I would definitely say if I had more time, I would do a little bit more to it. I think one thing about like VTuber designs is there's definitely a lot more detail. But I think just with the time I had, I was like, I'm just gonna get what I can, like, to the quality that I want it. And then maybe, you know, if it's a case of come the assignment, if we have it the same way as what we have before, where you kind of get a while to do, like you can work a little bit more into some of the projects to get them to a better standard for the final assessment. If I can do that, then I think my plan is going to be I'm going to go and essentially just work into like some of these, maybe get another design done, or because my plan was I was originally going to kind of do something where I just took the designs and then did like a basic color. So I kind of started on doing like the little rabbit one. Ooh. The little rabbit one here, like just do something for it to kind of help show color and stuff. But whatever. That's something to maybe do. I'm happy with the design overall though. I think maybe if I just nitpicks and like going into it more and all that sort of stuff, which there's only so much I can do at this point. But yeah, that was this project. I'm kind of glad that I got this one over the last one, because then the last one was just like make a poster. At least this one allowed me to do a lot more. I think probably if I were to redo this one, I would maybe try and come up with a concept. I know that we weren't supposed to, but I feel like for the sake of like a 3-week project, it's like I think I would have preferred to kind of come up with a concept by the end of week 1, which I knew what I was doing, and then I could just quickly explore these ones and then go into the one that I really wanted to do. But is what it is. I have it done now, and we just need to wait for the feedback. Same with the essay. The essay's done as well. So yeah, I think that's the end of this video. I think in general for like what I have right now is we technically have the week off, and then our next module starts next week. So technically I've got like about 5 days off right now. My plan for just now is I'm literally gonna go kind of start tidying up the room, editing my videos. Tomorrow I think I'm gonna go get the car fueled and take the car and get the car fueled, and then the next day on Thursday my plan is I'm gonna head up the road so I can go get everything that I have washed and all that sort of stuff. And I'm gonna work on videos and decon prints. I desperately need to work on decon stuff because I have a bunch of prints that are just sketches right now, and I'm like, I really want to get these finished, but god dang, it's gonna take so long. And then some of them I literally have them on like the last kind of bit, and it's just it's just annoying because I'm like, I want it done. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. I will hopefully see you in the next video. Like and subscribe or direct at all, I suppose. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.